Holy shit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Left Side, Strong Side. I'm Chance Ellison. Next to me is Mike Deacon. And below us, brand new co-host, Jacob London. We are here to break down, once again, all the action of the football season. Let's just... We're not going to build up. We're not going to prelude. No preludes. No anything. Let's just get right into it. Starting with Jacob, your boys, back on Thursday Night Football.
Thank Christ. I'm so glad
The Buffalo Bills taking on the New England Patriots.
I'm so glad we won this game. Not gonna lie, I was nervous. I was very nervous. They looked good. Again, I'm not overtly confident going into the playoffs. I kind of just need us to get a few more wins and and then before we get into the playoffs, I am terrified of our defense. Our defense is hanging on by a thread. Yeah.
Narratives in this game were established and also enforced at the same time. The enforced narrative, Mac Jones might be the most uninteresting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, he's, the past 2 weeks, he's played perfectly fine ball. It's not that he's playing terrible football, but it's bland.
It's uninspired ball.
It's bland, yeah.
It's bland football. Secondly, Josh Allen looked like getting a little pep back in his step. Completed 22 for 33 of his passes, passer rating of 106, QBR of 90. So, getting good for him. I think we're seeing the emergence of James Cook as number one back.
Looks like it. I don't know if he's outright the an outright one, but the 1A 1B thing might have flipped to this point. They're still go away from Singletary. Singletary hasn't played just terrible, but I feel like at this point they know they have to move forward with Cook because Cook is their future. Singletary is a free agent next year, so they got to move forward first. The right move
is done after this season. So there's you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna get that dude a second contract. He's gonna be he's gonna get paid somewhere, but you're not gonna get that dude a second contract. You don't need him. You got Dan Cook, who's just as good, if not maybe a little bit better. Stephon Diggs proving once again he's still him. Really not much to recap. Well, I mean, besides the anemicness of the Patriots offense, seriously. I don't know whose idea it was to let Matt Judge and Matt Patricia and Joe Judge run an offense.
I don't know, but the Patriots really need to figure out who they're they need to go get themselves an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
A real offensive coordinator. Yes.
Look, I know he's probably not going to be available, but you got to call Frank Reich.
That's the exact thing.
No. Reich is ours.
I'd be calling him before the end of the season, to be perfectly honest. I'd be like, come work for us now, because you're going. Honestly, he's probably getting a head coaching job somewhere.
Look, Frank, if you want to be another OC again, hey, we got the great culture over here in Pittsburgh, and Lord knows we.
Yeah, but you've got Kenny Pickett, whereas there's some other teams where it's like, hey, you've got Justin Herbert to play with. Hey, you've got a lot of other very talented quarterbacks to play with.
I'll take Pickett over Herbert. Yeah, I said it.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, we'll okay. Let's just clip this, and 5 years from now, I'm going to remind him every single time that he mentions it. I'm going to be like,
I'll remind you when
still taking Pickett.
I'll remind you when Pickett has a ring and Justin Herbert still does not. Let's move on to the Steelers versus the Falcons. This game proves one thing only. Mike Tomlin is going to drag this team kicking and screaming to a winning record.
I don't know how he does it. I honestly don't. How every freaking year
he finds
they're dead in the water. They are gone and dead, and you're like, oh, this is the year, and then he'll drag them, and they're gonna end. Okay, I think they're gonna end 8-9. I think they're gonna get just short.
The extra game is gonna throw the wrinkle into that because I think 8-8 under traditional years would have been right. 8-9 sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say. Look, the one criticism about this game is George Pickens, aka one of my new lords and saviors, George Pickens. He was not getting his targets, and he was not happy about it.
No.
He let them know it. Yeah,
And he let them know.
There's some good audio on that one.
Yep. Look, I'm not going to condone his actions because I do think it's unprofessional. But at the same time, he might be our best receiver at this point, so give the man some targets.
I do get that mindset, but I'm also at a point where it's like, come on, like.
Again, I fully understand it. Like
if 100%. They lost the game, understandable. You won the game,
right?
You won the game. Sit down and shut up.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
The Steelers. Good.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Steelers right now, they're finding their footing. You know, they don't have enough talent on the offensive line to really put up a lot of points right now. That's going to put them into the next level of teams. But they've moved they've made the right steps as the season has gone on. They've improved as the season has gone on. And you mentioned it. Tomlin he's one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Oh, the dude's going to Hall of Fame. He's going to be a Hall of Fame coach.
No argument. He has to. And you have to give him all the credit because on a team that's dealt with a lot of injuries and has dealt, again, with this really putrid offensive line with a rookie quarterback, to be, above that, they very easily could have been in the 4 or 5 win conversation, and they're going to flirt with 500. So that's a huge testament to Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, and I do want to give some credit to a young man who has been kind of ostracized this football season. It's Mr. Najee Harris, having one of the better games in this year, and also one of my favorite clips of the year period.
Harris. Stiff arm by Najee Harris.
Najee Harris murdered a man on live TV. Which was it last week? That's the kind of back he needs to be. He needs to be a power running, driving back, again, a la Derrick Henry. It looks like he's figuring that out week to week.
Yeah, I think Najee Harris could be a really, really good running back, but he still needs to figure it out. But I thought he played pretty well this week.
And on the other side, Atlanta, it seems like finally has firmed in that, hey, we need to get Drake London the ball more, which they should have been doing from the get. If they had gone with London and Pitts, as their 2 primary receivers from the outright beginning of the season, they could be, in a better
division, honestly.
Yeah, I 100%. You got 2 guys that talented. It's good to see them doing that, but again, we said this before that with Mariota as their quarterback, they're not going anywhere.
Nope.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, Falcons fans must be absolutely kicking themselves. This game, they should have won. They've had several games this season that they should have won, but didn't because they're just anemic. Like the Chargers game, absolutely should have won that. The Saints game. How did they lose that? Like, there's like 3 or 4 games where, and if you win 50% of them, you're winning that division because that division is awful.
They'd be in the head of the division if they won 2 more games. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but people keep doubting me. I keep saying it. Tomlin's gonna find a way, and he is finding a way. Everything currently is falling right into place. And I love to see it. We got a Super Bowl.
Cannot believe this.
All right. Next game, going some NFC North ball. We got the Packers versus the Bears. It's a place where as I will remind you, Aaron Rodgers has done a timeshare his entire career. Now, you know what I'll say. For a large part of this game, we thought it was over. Yeah. We thought, okay, the ownership has changed hands. Aaron Rodgers ain't got the juice no more. Chicago's beating him with Justin Fields. That's until we got one grim reminder. Justin Fields is the 58-minute man.
The 58-minute man.
He'll have this incredible 2-minute drive followed by something that defies logic.
The last 3 weeks, everyone's jumping up and down about Justin Fields, and he's been incredible these last 3 weeks in running. Those 2-minute drills are starting to get real concerning. They're starting to be hey, why are you throwing these interceptions like here? And it's not like they're desperate throws where it's a Hail Mary chance, and we're going to have this on your record as a Hail Mary, even though it shouldn't be. No, these are 2-minute drills. These are, you should not be throwing the ball away in these moments. You've got 2 minutes to go down the field and get a touchdown. Or here, they just needed a field goal.
A field goal.
It's, once, fine, whatever. That's 3 weeks in a row now where they have been in it. They could have won it if Fields doesn't throw a late game interception.
I will give him some leeway in this week because, the first pick wasn't entirely his fault.
I'm meaning the one with 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go.
2 minutes to go, yes. That was all him.
Yeah, look, everything up until that point, I'm Justin Fields' game, you're right. He's the 58-minute man. Justin Fields' game, I am fine with for majority of the game. But in a 2-minute drill to win the game, that is concerning. That is starting to get really concerning on do I trust him? Because right now I don't. If I have to go win a game, I don't trust him with the ball.
If it's a close game, yeah. If he can get the lead early, then okay. But you are 100% right, Jacob. He's just, once you get to the point where the game is in his hands, he has yet to prove that he can handle that.
The thing is, he had some good throws prior to that. Like N'Keal Harry burned Jair Alexander badly.
Yeah, he did.
Like Jair Alexander got roasted by a couple of Bears here. Both him and Equinemius St. Brown toasted his ass in this game.
And again, it's not, Fields isn't a bad quarterback. I'm not saying they should cut Fields. Fields is their future.
No.
Absolutely their future. But that is something that they really need to work on, and he really needs to work on, is your 2-minute drills. You need to not throw the game away with the way he has been. Because the interceptions, they're dumb passes. They're dumb attempts. They're desperation hero ball attempts instead of, it's 2 minutes, control, you just need to control and just get 10, 15 yards. That's all. You don't need the big 30, 40-yard jump play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's also followed by a dagger play by Christian Watson. They just put the game on. Christian Watson, by the way.
Christian Watson
comes so far since his first week. Because it looks like, again, Rodgers is really trusting him. I feel like he's going to be a number one going forward with the Packers. Because he's proven, again, he can fucking catch. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
With this game, PLD, Peggy, going to give you one reminder. He does. And with this game, we officially have our first elimination.
Finish him.
Goodbye, Chicago.
I think Rodgers knows that might have been his last game at Bears Stadium. The way he ended it, the way he walked off, that feels Rodgers is asking for a release or a trade. I think it's coming. I think he is I'm done with the Packers.
He's been done with the Packers every year for the past 3 years.
No, this felt different.
I will believe he's leaving the Packers when he actually leaves the Packers.
No, but okay.
Everybody in Chicago is praying for him to leave the Packers.
The last 3 years were, screw you. I'm dragging this team to a 13-3 record to prove to you that you made a mistake getting Jordan Love. That all right. This year, it's not that. It's this team's not good. I've regressed. I need something new to reignite his love of the game. I think after this game was him at the end of the game, very much kind of thanking the crowd, kind of thank you for the memories. And
I mean, everybody in Chicago, again, they are praying that this is his last season. Because
I don't think it's his last season.
Well, I think in Green Bay, because then he can give up ownership in Chicago, and they can move on to their new owner, Kirk Cousins, I guess. I don't know.
Jordan Love.
No, like I said, I
wherever the Lions draft
Jared Goff. I do. I think this is the last we're going to see of. I think this is the last season we will see Aaron Rodgers in the Green Bay Packer.
Well, now the Bears season is over, and they can really look to the draft now. 2 questions. 1, do you just sit Fields the rest of the year because nothing matters? And 2, what would you do with the Bears' first round pick if you were the GM? Would you go defense or would you go O-line?
So there's one of 2 things. The first option depends on where they are sitting in the draft, because they very well might be able to hold that pick for a ransom for one of the quarterbacks in each teams. If they're picking 3rd or 4th, they very well can use that for capital. I think if they are able to trade back, you can definitely go O-line. If they are unable to, and they're at like 4 or 5 though, and Will Anderson is sitting there, I don't know how you pass up a guy like that, like with his playmaking abilities. I struggle to see how you would go about that, but I agree. I think that the offensive line is the bigger need, but that's the kind of thing you don't pass a talent like that.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next game, we had last year's Tank Bowl champion versus the last year's Tank Bowl runner-up, the Detroit Lions taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's the year of the Lions has been just so strange, because we're all asking the question, is this team good? And honestly, I don't know. I don't know if this team is good or not.
I think they've got okay, you know who the best example that they are? They are the 2020 Arizona Cardinals. They're a really fun offense to watch. When they're going, they're a really fun offensive to watch. They're not a good team at all. They got a bad quarter. They got a bad defense. They're the difference is I think they've got the right coach. They don't I think they got the right coach, wrong quarterback, but the quarterback is very much is a good enough placeholder for the moment.
Thing is, Jared Goff had maybe his best game of the season this year, this
week. I'd say it was his best game of the season with very little, I don't know.
One of the best games he's had in a long time.
Yeah. Since the Rams Chiefs absurd game. What was that? 4 or 5 years ago on Monday Night Football. The
2018 game. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I agree with what you're saying about Jared Goff having his best game. This game was surprisingly one-sided. Like, I was genuinely shocked at how lethargic the Jaguars looked in this game. They could not establish a run game against the Lions, who everybody has ran on the Lions. It astounded me to see that. And on the opposite side of the ball, Jacksonville has, in a lot of games, or especially early in the season, proven that they could stop just about anything. And they couldn't answer. Detroit ran the ball. They threw the ball. Special teams had a field day. There was nothing that the Jacksonville defense could do to stop this Detroit team.
Yeah, the fact that Detroit, who at one point, I'm not sure if this is still the case, but at one point they had the worst scoring defense in the NFL.
They still have that, I believe.
Is it still Detroit?
I think so. They're either 1 or 2.
Yeah, they got to be out there. But the point is, if you can only put up 14 points against Detroit,
right?
That's it's not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Both of these teams, especially within the past few weeks, have been total Jekyll and Hyde. You just don't know which Jacksonville team or which Detroit team is going to show up. But Detroit, to their credit, for about 90% of their games right now, have shown up and put up a fight to the very last minute. And that's the reason they've stayed in a lot of these games. And in a game like this, they came out swinging right away and just put their foot on the gas, which they've needed to do the whole season. It's refreshing to see them do that right now.
It's also a case of Jacksonville looking at the guy that they passed on to take on Trayvon Walker, and Trayvon didn't play too bad. He's just not as good as Hutchinson. Yeah,
and Trayvon's played fine all season. It's just he hasn't been number 1 overall pick good. He's been a fine pick. There's nothing wrong. He's not a bust by any means, but that's not the kind of player you use the number 1 pick on.
Absolutely not. But Detroit wins. They managed to stay alive, and their playoff hopes are still well within reach.
Yeah, and with the way that the NFC is panning out, if they can,
I'm gonna say this: if Detroit gets the playoffs, Dan Campbell Coach of the Year. I don't care what anybody else does.
I definitely think Dayball's fallen off a cliff. I think the Dayball Coach of the Year is
It's all
it's probably done. I think Rivera's got half a chance
with what he's dealing with. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, Rivera. I think Pete Carroll is definitely needs to be up there. Given
should be.
Especially, and I think there will be, given where they were fully expected to be at the start of the season. Given you've just given up your future Hall of Fame quarterback, and you've now somehow been better. You've improved.
I mean, I don't think we need quotations. I think Russell Wilson, despite this season, we'll talk about it later, but Russell Wilson is still a future Hall of Famer.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
that. But Detroit fans, rejoice. Again, you very rarely get a chance to rejoice, but rejoice.
Yeah.
On to the next game. Mike got your boys, the Jets, taking on the Minnesota Vikings. One thing in this game did not prevail.
White power.
Yes, white power did not show up this week.
Especially in the first quarter. They came out flat in the first half. And, Minnesota's offense, while they did put up 27 points, if you watch that game, the first half they were able to run the ball. Jefferson only had 2 big plays, which he had 7 receptions. I was going to say 2 plays.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, I think, has to go to Sauce Gardner.
It's a no-brainer at this point.
Who else?
Sauce Gardner was targeted out of 40 coverage snaps. He was targeted 4 times and allowed 2 catches for 17 yards.
Chance, it won't happen, but there is a genuine argument he should be Defensive Player of the Year. It won't happen.
He might get some votes. He could.
Yeah, it won't. It won't.
You know what? If it prevents Micah Parsons from winning, give it to him.
No, but okay. It won't because of Parsons, but there's a genuine argument.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's a genuine, legitimate argument he should be, because holy crap, he's been incredible.
Oh my God, he's been amazing. Like that was a home run of your entire 2022 draft.
The 2021 one we don't talk about, but the 2022 one really
2022 knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And so you're speaking of that, like Garrett Wilson now is really with an actual quarterback who can get the ball in the air, is showing why he was picked number 9 overall. And with the way that the offensive rookie, it is a distinct possibility that the Jets could have both rookie of the years. Because
I think either Lions or Watson's having an argument. Watson's putting an argument in.
The thing with the offensive, there's about 4 players, because Olave is definitely in the conversation as well.
Yeah,
obviously Wilson. Watson could be in there. There's a few players that have to be in the conversation. The defensive side looks like the no-brainer. But I'm very excited about the obviously this whole draft class with Breece Hall too. But on this game, the Jets did what the way they played. If they had played against the Patriots, would have had 2 more wins right now. And on top of that, they came out flat-footed in the first half, came out guns blazing at the end of the third quarter.
The fact that you were down by double digits going into halftime, and you nearly came back and did it, I thought, oh my God, this is the concern about the Vikings to me also. This is a very concerning game. I'm like a Vikings fan.
Yeah,
I was stopping Mike White and the Jets.
Well, and not only that, the second half, and granted, the Jets defense has actually emerged as one of the better defenses in the league. The Vikings couldn't do anything in the fourth quarter on offense. They could not get anything at all rolling, and they kept on giving the ball back. And I think a lot of this when it goes, I like to talk about how games are won and lost. The Jets lost this game on their play calling in the 2-minute drill because they were on the 1-yard line and only attempted to run it once. And Bam Knight was getting them in droves. He was running wild, and they only attempted to run the ball from the 1-yard line once with Bam Knight, who had over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah. He topped off at 90. Didn't quite hit the 100, but he topped off at 90.
Yeah.
So close to 100.
Yeah.
And again, they were driving on the field. They were getting there, but then a late game pick by Mike White sealed the deal, and the Vikings now move on to 10-2.
Yeah, look, people are going to probably kill Mike White for that first half. Do we honestly, in all seriousness, would Zach Wilson have done any better?
No. And here's what I have to say about Mike White, and like it's kind of how I've viewed the situation from the get-go. Is I think Mike White is 100% right now one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the league. Is he like an elite quarterback? No, but is he somebody who is worthy of starting? Absolutely. And that's literally all the Jets need right now with the defense they have. You know, obviously if they had a stud or anything else, you know, they'd be at another level. But to stay competitive, Mike White is going to get them to the point where, you know, we'll see how things progress with them. But compared to Zach Wilson, they have a better chance of success with Mike White than they did with Zach Wilson.
And that's where I'm at with it all. Is Zach Wilson wasn't one of the 32 best. Nope. Mike White is. Mike White's got an argument. Now I don't. To me, if I'm the Jets, I'm seriously considering a quarterback next year, but it will depend on if one falls to you.
Well, there's been a little bit of a conversation now. Hooker, who got hurt from Tennessee, is going to fall most likely because of the injury, because he's not going to be able to start next year. And they've already said there's talks that the Jets might be looking into him.
Hendon Hooker would be a great pick for you guys. But if you can get like a second or third rounder, take Hendon.
That's what it is. That's what it's going to be, because he's not going to go in the first now, because if he goes in the first, it's somebody trading up at the very end to get him. Yeah. I don't think he's going to go in the first.
White is the Jets Heineke. He is, actually.
No, he is, because
it's a fair comparison.
It is. It's a very good comparison, because Wentz isn't a 32 pick at the moment.
Right.
Well, speaking of Heineke and Wentz, let's talk about their team, the Commies, facing the New York Giants. This game, I'm just gonna say, I'm sort of all thinking, this game is a fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
And then, not only is this game a fucking disgrace, then NBC went, hey, we're going to show the rematch in 2 weeks.
It's prime time.
Like, don't get me wrong, Raiders-Patriots would have been a disaster of a game as well. But come on.
You couldn't find anything better?
Yeah. Put the Steelers back on prime time, for God's sakes.
I'm double checking, but I think the Jets played Detroit that week. Like, that would have been a way more interesting.
That would have been amazing to watch on prime time.
Like, I understand there is no, like, CBS most likely would have protected the Bucks-Bengals game. So I get it. The Bucks-Bengals game. But Chargers-Titans? Come on, that would have been a better game. You know, freaking. Oh god.
Okay, we're not talking about this game right here and why it was fucking awful.
Yep.
And look, the New York Giants came out. They came out looking really good. They're firing all cylinders. They failed to get Saquon going. Daniel Jones, their lead runner, which was surprising. But again, the Comedy run defense is actually like
they've got a good run defense. Like,
considering Chase Young is also back.
Yeah.
Like that does add. That does add a big, layer to the defense. But again, the team under Heineke has so much more resolve than they ever did under Wentz.
They care. Sorry. Okay. I think the biggest takeaway from this year, more than any other year that we've ever seen that I can remember, is leadership matters in QB more than skill. You can have skill and be a terrible leader, and the leadership will outweigh, because we have seen it with Wentz. People do not get around Wentz. We've seen it with Wilson. We are seeing it with both Wilsons, actually. Like, there's like,
although Brett Rippon may have been actually worse. Actually, not may have, was actually worse.
But like, we're seeing that if you don't have the greatest skill, but the team loves you and you are amazing leader for that team, and the team can get around you, that will make up for a lot of the skill deficit.
Yeah, this is like a weird back and forth game because first quarter, Commies jumped out 10-0. Giants roll back. They're up by 7 going into the fourth. And then Jahan Dotson hit a brutal ass spin move to tie the game up. And that was the last score of the game. This is one of those cases where the game actually ended in a tie, even after 10 minutes of overtime.
So here's the fascinating part about this, though, is like that tie is actually going to have serious implications on playoff seeding.
So that tie. So last week I said that all 4 teams were making the playoffs. That tie helped that more than anything. Mm-hmm. The one thing that didn't was I really needed the Rams to hold on, but we'll talk about that one.
Yeah, but again, like I know it's World Cup time, but we are not throwing an homage to the other football.
They're both losers.
Ties. Just put in a kickoff. That's just a field goal off. I don't care. Thing is, Graham Gano had a chance to end the game, but he fucking missed.
Oh, it was short because it was a long ass kick. Like
a long ass kick, but I know Graham Gano is a Justin Tucker, but still, be a hero, Graham Gano. Be a hero.
It's a 58-yarder. I'm not going to kill him for a 58-yarder.
Be a hero. But yes, that is easily purely because it ended in a tie. But probably not the worst played game we've seen. There's one talk about later that was definitely the worst played game. But the fact that it ended in a tie makes this easily the worst thing to happen this week.
It's up there.
Moving on to this one definitely did not end in a tie. This was a massacre on 9 different levels. Let's talk about the Titans versus the Eagles. And you know what? Let's talk about it right now. Our Stunks player of the week. Maybe taking his first big lead in the MVP race, Mr. Jalen Hurts.
He has to be in the lead at this point.
I think he is, but barely. I think the Christmas. If they win on Christmas Day, it's over. It is completely over. Hurts is going to get it. If he gets beaten badly by the Cowboys, I think Mahomes is going to take it.
But Hurts is wow. Like you want to talk about like players that the whole making the league, like most improved player and making the league. All of those phrases that you always hear about players. He has done everything that has been asked of him this year. Yep. And you talk about a guy that he wants to play for. They want to go to war for Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are firmly behind him.
Yeah, and you know what this game was? Hey, AJ, I'm so mad I didn't put a bet on it. AJ Brown. Yeah. Go show them why they made a mistake.
Oh no. This was the Titans watching this game.
I've made a huge mistake.
Like watching AJ Brown torch their defense for 60 minutes was one of the most painful things to witness if you're a Titans fan.
Yep. And I mean, so bad it got the GM fired. The GM lost his job because of that, because there was no defense of that decision at all whatsoever. You can't defend it at this point, given how well he is going for the Eagles, where the Eagles are right now. There isn't a defense, and
I mean, you also got to see what he did. What he did to the defense you did draft in the league with this one. KJ Brown caught one of the widest open passes I've seen all year. I'm like, what the hell happened? Here's what happened.
One more look at it. You saw a couple of replays already. 1,000-yard seasons as a Tennessee Titan draft pick, wanted to get the big money contract, traded on.
Funniest thing about that play, the fact that the defender got penalized for it.
Yeah, right?
I know. But yeah, AJ Brown, I've always said, like, he is, I think, a top 10 receiver in the league.
And also his stock is rising, continuously. He's getting better each year. And
absolutely. How much do you reckon the Eagles are like, thank Christ?
Like, oh, thank God.
We already paid him.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. But on the other side, the man that was used in the trade capitals, Traylon Burks, prior to the concussion was looking very good, but had to exit the game super early. He had a touchdown early in the game too, and I think that was intentional. But then he got hurt. They were feeding him the ball. They were going to feed him the ball all game.
You're also seeing the fact that the Eagles' defense is improving because the biggest problem the past couple of weeks was their inability to stop the run.
Right.
Well, they held Derrick Henry to under 40 yards in the entire game. And you can stop Derrick Henry. You can stop anybody.
Yeah, look, their vertical game is the biggest. Their vertical defense is their biggest problem right now. I'm fascinated. That Cowboys game is going to be the single biggest test for. Okay, Eagles, where are you? Because the problem again, and we've said it all season, the Eagles have an incredibly light schedule. Their schedule was ridiculously light. They don't really play any real tough defenses or contenders all year outside of the Cowboys.
Right.
So when they play the Cowboys on Christmas Day, I think that game is going to be the game of, okay, this is where you are.
Yeah.
If they put a score on the Cowboys, or if they beat the Cowboys, they're the genuine NFC favorites. They lose to the Cowboys. This is going to get interesting. To me, the NFC is wide open between 5 different teams.
Yeah, they put up. Jalen Hurts had a game of 380 yards through the air. That is his best of the year. And with the game last week, they're now the first team since the 1950s to have 350 yards running and passing in a game in a single season. So yeah, the Eagles offense has a lot. We've said a lot. The Eagles offense has a lot of different ways to kill you.
Yep, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong, they're a good team. I don't know how far they're going to go in the playoffs. I'm excited to watch them in the playoffs. I'm very excited.
Like I hate the fact they have Ndamukong Suh because I'd be rooting for this team super hard if they didn't. Fuck that guy. Now, talk about the actual worst game of the week at the Broncos versus the Ravens. Now, before we get into this, there was something that I did make in preparation for this particular game.
Broncos country, let's ride.
You motherfucker!
Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride.
The fact that this team is fucking miserable to watch, and I don't understand why. I do understand why, but I don't understand why.
Okay. So I looked this up. I'm going on my rant right now. If the Broncos had the 22nd worst offense in the league, which is the Saints, they'd have scored 20 points a game. Okay? They would be, if that happened, their record would be 10-2, and they would be the AFC favorite right now. If they had your Steelers offense, which is 18 points a game and 28th in the league of 32,
still got a Super Bowl,
they would be 8-4.
and the 4 seed? I mean, it could be the 5 seed?
No, they would be, I think, either the 5th or the 6th.
I think,
because Chiefs
it'd be
yeah.
It'd be tied for 5, and then
Instead, they have the worst offense in the league.
Not just
worse
that,
than
one of
Davis
the
fucking Mills and Matt Ryan. Worse than a Rams team that doesn't have Kupp, Robinson, or Stafford. And they're not even, and it's not even close. This is the stupid thing. It's not even fucking close. They're 2 whole points worse than the fucking Texans. This has been nothing, absolute nothing but a complete and utter abject disaster. And if Russell Wilson has another season like this next year, if he does not improve next year, he will have cost himself a Hall of Fame spot.
I think I agree with you because
next year has to be better.
I've never seen a single player in the league
Joe
on the field.
Go from
On
one
the
of the
field.
greatest quarterbacks
Yeah.
to being one of like the worst.
He's 32. He's
Yeah.
32 right now. This is ridiculous.
I mean, I'm
This
not
is-
gonna put him under Davis Mills or Kyle Allen.
Statistically,
But like, here's the way that Russell Wilson completed, I think, like 70+% of his passes in a QBR of 2.3 without a touchdown and without winning the game.
9 points.
That's almost more impressive.
9 points.
Yeah, the offense, once again, the Denver offense couldn't do anything. The Baltimore offense didn't look that much better, and it didn't help the fact that Lamar Jackson is once again injured.
yeah.
We now have to deal with Tyler Huntley, a.k.a. I can't believe it's not Lamar Jackson.
A team that's decimated, absolutely decimated by injuries. The Ravens have like every single skill position, they're missing players, and you still can't do anything against them. And they have one of the worst run defenses in the league. Can't do anything against. What is going on in Denver? I feel so damn bad for their defense, because their defense is quietly so good, and they're getting overlooked because they have such a train wreck of an offense.
To me, their defense is the best in the league. It's better than the
They might
49ers.
be.
It's better than the Bucks. It is the best defense in the league. It is the most terrifying. It's the one I would not want to play at all if they had a fucking quarterback, and they don't. And this is where, in all seriousness, okay, next year they're going to get a new coach. They have to.
Mhm.
They're going to get a new coach. It's going to happen. They have to keep Russell Wilson because, yeah, that extension they signed hasn't even kicked in yet.
Nope.
Nobody's taking that contract.
No, absolutely
They
no.
have to keep Russell Wilson. If they have another season like this next year, where they are actually this bad and he is that bad again, you eat the 80 mil. You have to. You just eat it. You go, fuck it. We eat the 80 mil, have another bad season, be the worst team in football, and we'll at least get draft picks.
What was the guaranteed money on that contract?
It's 100. It's 103 million, I think, or something like that.
Jesus.
Like it's. I think okay. If they cut him at the end of this year, it is 103 million dollars worth of dead cap.
That's insane.
Yeah.
If they cut him next year, it's 80 million.
Yeah,
The year after is when it's 53 million against the cap. They realistically cannot cut him until 2026. That is the first chance they can actually cut him and it not hurt them. But to me, if they are this bad again, you just do it and you put it all in 1 year and you say, fuck it, we're going to be the worst team in football and we need to get out of this contract. Or you do the Jared Goff trade. You go, who wants him?
We'll
For
give you
three.
three-
We'll
give you
we'll
first
give
rounders.
you him and 3 firsts to get rid of him. This is so bad. I have no words. I am so angry at this right now because
For the reminder to all our viewers, I was riding the Denver train before the season started, and 3 weeks in, I immediately regret my decisions. All of them.
You know, I've been, I'm 40 years old. I've been watching professional football for, about 35 years of my life. And I don't think I've ever, in all of the 35 years I've watched pro football, have watched an offense this terrible, like this unwatchable. They are god awful.
and
And
it's
like-
not. And the stupid part that you talked about the Ravens. The Ravens won. They've got the excuse. Charges. They've got excuses because of injuries. Like the teams that have been bad, the Rams, there's an excuse. They're bad. The Texans, they don't have a quarterback. All of the teams above them, there is an excuse. What's the Broncos?
There is none. There literally is none.
Javonte Williams is hurt.
I mean, the running back. I mean, maybe the running back, but everywhere else they've got really.
like Cortland Sutton's still here.
Jerry
Jerry
Jeudy.
Judy's still here. Tim Patrick. I mean, he's out the entire season, but he'll be back
He's out,
next
but-
year.
Yeah, like the excuse is, the quarterback that we decided to extend before he'd seen a freaking down of him playing for us sucks.
It's the
And
biggest fraud in the league.
And he is also our Not Stonks Player of the Week.
Maybe of the year.
yeah, Man,
I don't know. Zach Wilson's giving a run for his money.
How about we just give
it benched yet?
We just name it the Wilson Award. The not Stonks Award is the Wilson Award.
The Wilson Award.
If he was any other player, he's already benched. Absolutely, like already benched already. That's what it's. They're stuck. They are. This is franchise destroying. This is absolutely to the point where if I'm the Waltons, I'm half considering it. You are stuck in this contract and you are stuck as a bad team for the next 4 years at least. If he does not improve next year,
which again he could. Russell Wilson,
he absolutely could.
He's still got the skills. He might be a little crazy, but he's still got the skill set to be a great quarterback in the league. He's not showing it this year.
No.
And currently checking the charts, he still has less TDs than bathrooms in his house.
He didn't get a single one this week. So he now has to average. He has to average a touchdown a game to make it. He ain't doing that when he plays the Chiefs twice.
Right. Just say that one more time. He only has to average one touchdown a game, and we're all doubting it. We're all doubting
Yeah,
like, he plays that Chiefs defense twice.
I know.
The Chiefs defense isn't great though. Like you can pass in that defense.
But it's
maybe not them, but you can pass in that defense.
All right. I mean, look, and then the other ones, he's he should be able to. He goes Chiefs, Cardinals, Rams, Chiefs, Chargers. They're not good defenses.
That is one of the lightest schedules for a quarterback that you can ask for.
I don't even know the ball. Yes.
If he had that 20 points a game thing, and they were 10-2, they would end the season 14-3 at worst.
Yeah, because they'd beat the Rams, they'd beat the Cardinals.
They'd split Chiefs, beat Cardinals, beat Rams, beat Chargers.
Yeah. Probably.
But speaking on the side of quarterbacks, we found out today Lamar Jackson is going to be out for the next 1 to 3 weeks, which is great for me. Like I said, everything's falling into place for Pittsburgh
to just be falling to a worse draft pick.
Yep, that's the Steeler way.
He's done. He's done. I don't think he plays again this season.
Yeah, I think so.
If they don't win at least one, but I was going to say 2 of the games that he's gone, their playoff hopes are dashed. Why do you throw him back out there?
Why does he come back out?
Right.
What is he coming out?
This is exactly what happened last year.
Yeah. Look, I think this entire thing is setting up to, I'm not playing next year. We're not paying you. Release me. I have a feeling this is where it's all leading to. We're going to see Lamar Jackson be a free agent, I think, next year. I don't even know if they're going to franchise him. I really don't.
He's after the big money, like I said, another quarterback we're going to be talking about right now, as Deshaun Watson returns to his former home to take on the Houston Texans.
Oh, boy.
Look at the stat line. 12 for 22, 131, and an interception.
Yeah,
the only reason he got bailed out by Cleveland's defense, who played a phenomenal game, one of the best defensive games of the year.
The only points that were put up in this game were a punt return, a pick six, and a fumble return for a touchdown. Yeah. That's it.
He looked like a quarterback who hasn't played in 2 years.
You've been on the money on this one, Jacob. You've been calling us the whole time, and you were spot on.
He looks like a quarterback who has not played in 2 years, who wasn't allowed to train for 10 weeks.
That's also why you keep him out the rest of the season, or not keep him out, like keep him in the game for the rest of the season.
You have to play him this season. You look, I fuck Deshaun Watson and fuck the Browns for paying him the money. I just want to say that, like the outside of the pure football part of this, fuck everything to do with him and all of that. From a pure football perspective, you have to play him for the rest of the year.
It's the exact opposite of almost every other teteam we've talked about with the quarterbacks, because you have to get his legs back underneath him.
Yeah,
you need to, because guess what?
He's your future.
Because guess what? You've got 150. You think the Broncos have it bad? You've got $150 million mistake potentially happening.
Oh no!
If they don't,
you have a $250 million mistake.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry. 250.
It's all guaranteed.
All guaranteed, too.
Yeah. So you need this to pay out and pay off. So like, yeah, that is the thing for this right now for Watson is, all right, you need to play him. Fuck you for playing him, but you need to play him, and you need to hope and pray that he does get his legs back, because if he continues to play like this, you have a $250 million mistake sitting right there.
Like,
and guess what? There are teams that will take Russell Wilson before they take Deshaun Watson, because
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
that shit.
Oh yeah,
There are teams that will just straight up not take Deshaun Watson.
I'm like so conflicted on this for like so many reasons. Like one, again, like I will say, like I don't like Deshaun as a person. I don't think he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But like when he was playing, he was like one of my favorite quarterbacks, like on the field. And I think football's better when he is, or was better when he was actually playing. He was good. That being said, I don't want him to get his legs back because he's in division now. That's the main reason I don't. And also, screw him. That's why. But I mean, going to his former home of Houston. Once again, we realize that Houston, the great take of Houston, is rolling on, and they are fucking awful.
They are the one team out of everybody in the NFL who understands the assignment right now. They're just like, let's lose out, get that number one pick, and just call the season a wash, and they're doing it right. So
And the fact that they still haven't been eliminated is my favorite.
Actually, Jacob,
Finish him.
Houston has been eliminated. With the 1-10-1 record, Houston has also predictably been eliminated from the playoffs.
And they, at this point, too, they should. Brandon Cooks should never be active for another game again for this season, because whether they trade him or whatever, he's not part of their long-term plans at this point. They should have traded him at the trade. It was a mistake not trading him. I don't care what you got for him.
How do you not trade that guy?
Anything you could have gotten for him at that point. Don't even bother putting him back on the field this year. Get a 7th rounder for him, whatever. Who the hell cares? He's worthless to your team. He's not there for the long term. This is a team that needs to go full youth. Damian Pierce is a perfect player for them right now. And, Benjamin's a perfect player for them right now. Just go full blown, all youth movement for the next 2 years. Yeah, you're going to suck for a couple of years, but 2-3 years down the line, you might have something.
You might. Oh, that's it for that game. Although it is funny watching. It's just like they won the game without Deshaun Watson doing anything to help. So I mean, it's kind of a win. It is kind of a win for the morally abject Cleveland fans. Up next, we have the Seahawks versus the Rams. NFC West football. This was a game that I thought, again, this is a Rams team that has, like we said, no Stafford, no Kupp, no Robinson, no offensive line, and is trying to rely on the talents of John Wolford and a defense that's pretty battered to win games. Thing is, though, for a little bit, it was working.
Yeah, first half, they were competitive in the first half. Yeah,
and look, people are going to jump up and down and go, "Oh, look, see, the Seahawks are turning back into a pumpkin." Blah blah blah. It's a divisional game, guys.
Yep,
they just know how to play them. It's divisional. I'm not reading anything into this. They lose next week, then I'll start reading some stuff into it. Like this is not a bad. This was just a Rams game. Again, I think they're splitting the Rams. I'm annoyed that they lost this one because now Rams have to win the next one. But
I know Seahawks fans. But I mean, problem now Seahawks going forward is their running back K9. He is now injured.
That is the biggest issue.
Yeah, huge issue because their next man up is DJ Dallas, and that's not even close. When you look at Penny and Walker, you had two guys who are both solid NFL running backs. Then you got
quick,
DJ Dallas.
Everybody watching this and everybody on screen, go look up DJ Dallas's headshot for his ESPN profile. It looks like they just told him he's going in the game and he's not ready for it. I'll see if I can pull it up.
DJ Dallas.
Hold on, I got it right here. But yeah, the Rams' offense was surprisingly.
Oh, that's gold.
Yeah, hold on, wait. Here we go. The Rams' offense was moving, but the Seahawks are led by this man.
They didn't think to take a second picture.
No. All right. You got to go in the game. What? No. What his face was like? We see Aaron Donald line up against him. Oh God, no. But anyways, the Seattle was bolstered by some great receiving performance, mainly by Jacob's favorite receiver, Mr. DK Metcalf. Who one of my favorite things he did in this game was he had emotion, looked right at Jalen Ramsey, was like, "Come on, follow me." He didn't do it because they were in zone, but he scored. But he caught a ball on that play, and he ended up scoring the game-winning touchdown. Interesting stat for this one: Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf's stats were nearly identical, both going for over 120 yards receiving. Lockett having 9 receptions and DK having 8. So if DK caught one more pass for a yard, they would have had identical stats, which is fucking wild. Again, I think that is one of the one of the most underrated receiver tandems in the league. Mostly because Tyler Lockett's, I think, super underrated. I like him a lot.
Well, but like going into this year, when they had Russ, they were considered probably a top 5. Everybody just like downgraded them because it was going to be Geno, and Geno's done very well with them, both of them. Honestly, and that's a damn good 1A 1B combination right there. And
what do you think about DK Metcalf, Jacob?
He's a top 10 wide receiver. Like I'm fucking wrong. All right. I will give my pound of flesh for getting that wrong. By the way, what do you think of Russell Wilson? Is he like where are you on Russell Wilson, hey?
Hey, I knew it was a risky pick when I made it. I knew there's a chance I was gonna be wrong. I didn't know how wrong I'd be. But I'm not gonna throw out something foolish like saying DK Metcalf's not a top 10 receiver.
Oh my God, though, that your miss chance though is not just a miss. That's like
that's
you swung through the bat and hit your own coach in the head. That's
like I'm aiming for the moon. I couldn't get out of the parking lot.
You kicked the tee and the ball went up straight up.
But yeah, thanks to a clutch drive by Seattle at the very end of the game, they managed to win. Again, really helping their playoff hopes in the long run, and also solidifying the Rams as the worst defending Super Bowl champion of all time.
Yeah, who else are we really even putting in the conversation?
Well, no,
no, it's official.
Statistically, like they are the worst.
It's officially official. Yeah. They are the worst because,
and it's not getting better. We'll get to why later, but it's not getting better.
And the Lions get the pick. The Lions are just like jumping up and down for joy right now.
There was that tweet that went around going, Stafford repaying the Lions for he got his ring and now he's repaying the Lions.
Moving on to our next one. This is our upset of the week. This one was tough to call for any one particular team. We ended up going with the Dolphins versus the Rams, not because we didn't think the Niners could pull it off, but because of what happened in the game. In this game, once again, Jimmy G was crucified for his sins. He went down with a foot injury. So in comes Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy to try and salvage it.
If you remember, what he's most known for in NFL play is trying to do a handoff to the wrong side. That was his most notable play in the NFL.
It was a handoff fake so good he fooled his own player. And keep in mind, this came off the back of a quick strike touchdown to Trent Sheffield. The fuck is that? On the Miami Dolphins. We thought no, Jimmy G, this game is going to be ugly. And it was for Miami.
The complete opposite of what you would have expected in terms of the game script once that happened. 49ers dominated this game.
Remember how great Tua has been looking the past couple of weeks? He reverted back to 2020 and 2021 form. We got Tua turned the ball over all the way back, giving us a nice throwback.
It's almost like he played a real defense for the first time this season.
Let me check on this. Like, who has he played? Let's see. Patriot.
He missed the Jet game.
Patriots. I mean, Ravens. Ravens have a good defense. They have shit play calling, but they have a real defense.
Yeah, and then they have a real defense for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter they disappeared. Remember?
They disappeared, but like they still played a real defense. Gonna be Joe boys. Buffalo.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yes. Yes. They beat Buffalo in the game where Buffalo doubled Tua in every single statistic, and they lost because it was the Heat game, and Josh Allen can't tell time. Apparently, like I am not giving Tua credit for winning that game. I'm sorry, he was not good in that game.
They played a real defense with Pittsburgh, but again, he's not the reason they won that game. So yes, I will jump on that train with you. Lost the Jets.
No,
Bears.
Steelers and sorry, he played. Okay, he played the Steelers team without their pass rush.
Yeah,
like
I know that. It's still real defense. Don't. Real defense. Okay. Point is, this solidified how formidable the Niners defense is.
They're legit. There's no argument that they're legit. And the offensive side of the ball too has proven for several years now that they are very much a system-based offense. And if you have the right coaching, you can go with a player like a Brock Purdy. I don't know how far he's going to get them in overall, but you can have a plug and play and not have it be a drastic overhaul like some of these teams are seeing when they go to backups.
Probably not far. Because I feel like Brock Purdy does not know how to, because like McCaffrey's the entire offense this game.
But
well,
teams now they're gonna scheme for Brock Purdy, and you're gonna obviously the next couple of weeks the 49ers have something to prove.
Yeah. And Deebo Samuel just disappeared once again.
I'm not as hesitant on. Look, okay, 49ers are gonna get third in the conference because the Seahawks aren't going to overtake them. They're just not. And neither of the Tampa Bay. That ain't happening. Yeah. So they're going to get third in their division, which means their first game is most likely going to be either against Daniel Jones and the Giants or Washington or potentially the Seahawks. Or the Seahawks. I like those matchups. I like all of those matchups for 49ers in the playoff. Even with even with him because of that defense.
Right.
I do. With that defense,
I still feel like he'll get exposed quickly. Kind of like Jimmy G. I think at some point he'll get exposed.
Look, I think it's going. I think for the rest of the season. Look, I don't think the 49ers can't win the Super Bowl. They're done. They can't win the Super Bowl. But I think that they can win a playoff game with him because I think every single one of their games are going to be like that Saints game. Yeah. It's 13-0 or 13-3, 13-7. Like that defense is going to hold out other teams from scoring. The thing I'm fucking terrified of and what I think is going to happen is Tom Brady is going to come up against him in the divisional. And guess what? Brady's going to a fucking Super Bowl again.
It's not with that. We'll have the Bucks later, but no. Like they're going to be they're going to be a one and done team. I guarantee it.
We'll get there because I'm going to tell you exactly how they're going to a Super Bowl.
I've learned in the 21 years of watching Tom Brady that there is nothing Tom Brady will ever do that will surprise me. So,
no, one and done. I'm calling out one and done. Like that team is not impressive, but we'll get to that later.
All right.
But yeah, Mike McDaniel could not overcome the coaching power of his former coach Kyle Shanahan. Again, Mike. Just word of advice: he doesn't start blowing leads until it really matters. That's just rule of thumb for Shanahan. Up next goes battle some AFC West football. I remember when we thought this division was going to be awesome, but nope. We got the Chargers versus the Raiders.
This game was boring.
Terrible.
This game was just boring.
Yeah, this was a tale of two coaches that maybe should be fired. Well, one definitely should be fired. One maybe.
Look, McDaniels is getting fired. I keep saying absolutely he deserves to be fired.
You can't fire him though.
Yeah, I know.
The owner's fucking broke. You can't fire him.
I know. I can't afford it. I know. I just this Chargers team's bad, and I get that they've got so many problems in injuries. They are so injured, but man, they're a badly coached team. I just that defense is bad.
Yeah, remember all the money they spent on this defense in the offseason? Re-signing Derwin James, getting Khalil Mack, getting J.C. Jackson, trying to shore up what was a god-awful run defense last year. Guess what? It's still awful.
And again, I get it. They're injured. They are really injured, and I understand that. But, man, this isn't good. And it's just depressing because Herbert keeps showing how good he is on a really bad team.
He's turning into his predecessor.
I was going to say, he's going to be the next Phillip Rivers. And that was my question a couple weeks ago. Like,
if I'm Herbert, I'm not signing that contract.
That's what, again, I asked a couple weeks ago. I'm just like, if I'm Herbert, like, do I see what Phillip Rivers did? I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to leave. If I'm Phillip Rivers, I'm calling and be like, you got to get the hell out of there. Go somewhere else. Go to New York. I don't care. Just go somewhere.
If I'm Herbert, and he won't do this because he's too fucking nice. But if I'm Herbert, my condition of I will sign this contract and I will be here. You got to get me Peyton. You've got to get me a coach, a genuine Super Bowl winning coach. And if you do that, I'll stay. And if I'm the Chargers, I'm calling McVay.
Well, speaking oh Jesus, that'd be hilarious actually. Speaking of contracts in the offseason, Josh Jacobs is going to get a hefty one.
He's going to be the number one running back on the market. There's no doubt.
100%.
Oh yeah, I mean the Raiders might franchise him. The Raiders might have to.
They might have to. Yeah, you're right. They could.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid.
I could see him playing the tag.
They might not have a choice. They might have to franchise him because and then we'll get into the I'm not playing for you. Like I
don't think because like running backs is different markets. Like I think he would play on the tag.
Yeah, but the problem you've got is I personally don't see his value being increased next year. I think this is the year that he's going to get his best contract. Mm-hmm. So because I don't think next year he is going to redo what he did this year.
Yeah, how do you top it? Exactly.
Yeah. So next year it'll be the Baker problem, of I should have signed a contract. I didn't. I went worse, and now I'm most likely out of the NFL. Given the Rams, I know
we'll get there.
Yeah, but at that point, if I'm him, I'm not playing on that franchise tag. But because of it, I'm like, no, I don't want to play on a franchise tag. You need to trade me. That's going to get real interesting.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see what happens with Jacobs in the offseason. But also, Devontae Adams maybe one of the best catches this year.
A massive game for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Played the way a superstar wide receiver should play.
Yeah, if only had a competent coaching staff.
Yeah.
Look, next year they might be really good. And they just needed time to get together and work together. And maybe we were all just a year early on. Oh, look at the NFC East, at the AFC West. But I don't know, guys.
We'll see what happens next year.
Yeah.
Moving on to our game of the week, something that was somehow not in prime time. The Bengals versus the Chiefs.
Oh, CBS locked it. That's why they wanted They wanted to put the one that should have been in prime time.
I know why it wasn't prime time, but why was this not prime time? I hate everything. We mentioned how Jalen Hurts taking the lead, the biggest first lead in the big MVP race. It's because Patrick Mahomes didn't play like Patrick Mahomes. He played fine, played well. Not like costly football or anything.
He played above average, but he did not play Patrick Mahomes ball.
The biggest takeaway that I think everyone can take from this game, more than any, is there is now an official rival to the Chiefs. There is now a team that knows how to beat the Chiefs, and right now, if I'm the Chiefs, there is a team I am now scared to play in the playoffs. There was never that. There was never a team you were terrified to play in the playoffs.
In their the Bengals beating the Chiefs in their last three matchups.
Yep.
In all three of them, the Chiefs were up in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And they somehow find a way to blow the game.
Yep.
This is the one offense that currently in the NFL can match firepower with the Chiefs, can score just as fast as they can, and can do it in so many different ways.
Well, and again, that is despite the fact that this happened.
From the 18. Lost it. He's there. Oh, my goodness. Inconceivable.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
That's
Like
the worst drop I've ever seen.
It's the worst. Maybe the worst I've seen this year so far.
It might be the worst I've ever seen. As in, like, that's a touchdown. That
Like,
is
You're walking in.
Touchdown.
You're walking in.
like, I don't know how you drop that. I really don't.
He's demonstrating why he's been passed by both Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the depth chart.
Yeah, like anyway.
Also, the Bengals. I think their O-line figured it out. I mean, they can't figure out how to protect Joe Burrow, but they can figure out how to open up run lanes because Samaje Perine
Looking
went for
good.
100 yards.
Again, I just think okay. There is certain teams that you have certain matchups with, and the 49ers can beat the Packers. For some reason, every year, even if their team is terrible and the Packers are good, the 49ers know how to beat them.
Always beat them. That's true.
They can just beat them. Brady, no matter what, can beat the Cowboys.
Aaron Rodgers, no matter what, can beat the Cowboys.
But that's what I mean. Like there are certain teams that no matter what, you can just beat. And I think the Bengals and the Chiefs are just that. I think the Bengals just know how to beat the Chiefs. And if Joe Burrow has never lost to Mahomes yet, which is insane to think about. They've played 3 times, and Mahomes is the only quarterback that Mahomes doesn't have a win over that he's played.
Yeah. Which is
Crazy.
nuts.
Wait till Kenny Pickett gets a hold of you.
Sure. Okay.
It's gonna happen. Trust me. We're on Super Bowl. But yeah, also the funny thing about this is the exact same score as the AFC Championship game last year.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is just again insane. But yeah, the Bengals might not be as dead as we thought, or at least as I thought. And
Oh no, they're not. They're not dead. In all seriousness, this game may have just made them Super Bowl favorites.
I wish the team would just fucking die already.
Be prepared. They're going to be the first one to win it. They're going to be the first one out of your division to win a Super Bowl in this current era.
No, they won't because they're the Bengals.
Oh yeah. You know what? You know who they're about to become, and you're not going to like this.
I swear to God,
Bengals...
if you say New England.
No, they're not going to become New England. The Chiefs are about to become John Madden's Raiders, and the Bengals are about to become Terry Steelers. In all seriousness, where Madden had this team that should have been a dynasty, and he won 1 Super Bowl with them because it just happened to be at the same time as Terry Steelers. And that is what is coming. That is what is coming. That the Bengals are coming in, and they're going to be the Steelers they're going to be the 70 Steelers today.
Nope, absolutely not. I'm put on the record, absolutely fucking not.
I'm almost ready to go on record. Mahomes ain't winning another Super Bowl.
Oh, that's bold.
I think there is a chance Mahomes is a one and done. That we go through and we say, look, his contract is about to get worse. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That team is going to have to start losing players. They're going to always be in the playoffs, so their draft picks are going to always be top 50, a 20 or plus pick. I don't know, guys. I think there is a serious chance that Mahomes might not win another Super Bowl. He might make another one, but I don't know if he'll win another one.
All right, moving on to our next game, Sunday night. The Colts versus the Cowboys. Now, this is a game that was actually quite competitive for 3 quarters.
And then we saw something else.
Well, no, this was us watching the 4th quarter.
Stop! He's already dead.
Yeah. Again, the Colts managed to keep it within 2 points going into the 4th. And then the 4th quarter happened, and the Cowboys dropped 33 unanswered points.
Denver. They put up what Denver puts up in 2.5 games in a quarter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It was a complete shutdown on the behalf of the Colts.
Okay. Can we all not suck the dicks of the Cowboys right now? Because
I don't want to.
Look,
those are just facts.
This wasn't an impressive win from the Cowboys. This was, hey, we capitalized on the Colts throwing it away and not caring. That's what it was.
The Colts looked terrible.
After the second turnover in that fourth quarter, the Colts defense just went, fuck yous. We don't care. Like, they gave up. They just went, fuck it. We don't care. Like, there's no point in this game anymore. We're done. That's what this was. This wasn't. If the Cowboys were this dominant through the entire game, I would be right there with you going, oh my God, this Cowboys team's scary. It was the fourth quarter. They were up by 2 points. They should have lost. They were 14-point favorites. If it's not for the turnovers, they don't put 14 points on them.
That was the biggest problem going into the fourth quarter. They had a fumble return for a touchdown, and Matty Ice threw 3 picks. Okay, not in the fourth quarter, but he threw 3 picks overall.
Like, so that is the takeaway from this game, that Matt Ryan played horrible, absolutely horrible, and the Colts are a complete disaster. That is the takeaway from this game. It is not, oh my God, look at this Cowboys team. Cowboys are not. They're not world beaters. The Cowboys are going. We'll get to the next game, but the Cowboys are my one and done.
I mean,
they're not winning a game in the playoffs.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, you know who they're playing in the playoffs?
As of right now, yeah,
the Bucs.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm sorry, their first game is against Tom Brady.
I feel like if the Cowboys played the Bucs again now, they would still lose by the same score.
I think that's Tom Brady knows how to beat the Cowboys. And then you know who his second game's going to be against? Most likely, the Kirk Cousins Vikings.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Tom Brady's going to the fucking Super Bowl because he's going to play shit quarterbacks because the NFC sucks.
Okay, I'm not going to start dick riding Tom Brady. Let's just cool it right there. We'll get to that. You know, let's just get into that right now because we don't have much to say about this game. Let's talk about Saints versus the Buccaneers. And you
talk about the last drive.
I applaud Tom Brady because I love his strategy. Play like absolute shit for 50 minutes, pull like one decent drive out towards the end of the game, and have everybody in the world just suck you dry. Like it's amazing. It's hilarious. I envy that.
Okay, he was bad. And look, me going all goat yesterday was just in the moment being excited. You're 100% right. He was terrible for the majority of that game. And then with 3 minutes left, the Saints went, fuck time management. Just give the greatest of all time the ball with 3 minutes left.
Mark Ingram running out of bat. What was up with Mark Ingram on that point? Like, seriously.
Yeah. Like, hey, not only that, we're going to give him the ball back with a timeout and only take 20 seconds off the clock. Because, why not? That's an intelligent decision. Okay, yeah. I completely agree. The Saints blew this, and the Saints are terrible. And how Dennis Allen still has a job this morning is a absolute makes no sense whatsoever.
That is
fire Dennis Allen.
That's one of the first Black Monday firings.
Absolutely.
Keep in mind, easy. The Saints going into the fourth quarter were up by 13.
Yeah.
Yet for some reason, like every fucking defensive coordinator in the league, they decide to play only soft zone against one of the best zone passers in the NFL right now. Like, it's an infuriating decision. I don't get it.
Yeah, and look. When I say this game must have been, if I am a Cowboys fan, if I am a Vikings fan, if I am an Eagles fan, if I am a 49ers fan, this game is more infuriating than any other this weekend because they should have killed him. They could have killed him then and there. I will never, ever trade with the Saints or do deals with them for this season because they may have just screwed us completely. I don't know how if any of those fan bases forgive the Saints, because Tom Brady is going to have a home playoff game now. It's going to happen. His first game is going to be against the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, replay the first game of the season.
Yeah. Do you, honest to God, with 2 minutes left and a close game, trust Mike McCarthy?
No.
All right.
I don't trust Mike McCarthy with 2 minutes in a microwave.
And there we go. Sorry, and that is why the Bucs are going to win a playoff game, and then their second game is probably going to be either against Daniel fucking Jones, or Kirk Cousins in prime time.
Him losing a playoff game to Daniel Jones, he might retire on the spot. That'd be hilarious.
No, you're right, but it's going to be one of those, or it's going to be against a 49ers team with a third string quarterback.
You know, we need Taylor Heineke back in the playoffs.
Yeah,
it could happen.
Tom Brady.
Hey, Heineke's probably going to be the 7th seed, but the problem is a 4th seed is never playing a 7th seed. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, like, seriously, yeah, there is a legitimate path that Tom Brady can make to the NFC, and he plays fuck all quarterbacks until he gets, and then he plays Hurts, and then most likely loses to Hurts. I don't like fair, or the Eagles have PTSD after what Bucs did to them last year and don't recover, and Brady sneaks into the fucking playoffs. And I
think like all the moves they did are like so they won't have PTSD, so they won't have PTSD.
You're right. Look, they most likely don't. And the Eagles are who I am picking to make the Super Bowl. I think the Eagles are the team to make the Super Bowl. I think they are the best team in the NFC.
No argument.
I'm terrified of Tom Brady being in that Super Bowl right now. I think there is a chance. I think there is a legitimate chance that it's going to happen.
I think with Brady, the way his game, his regression has happened. He obviously doesn't have the zip on the ball. The problem is now the Bucs have two running backs who are both have been really damn good out of the backfield catching the ball. So all of a sudden he's not getting it down to Evans or Godwin, but you got Fournette and White just running wild.
Like they didn't even do anything this game.
Yeah,
I get that. Look, we'll see how they go against the 49ers this weekend.
Yeah.
If they win that game, are you going to start being worried?
No, because fucking Brock Purdy. That's why.
Okay, but Chance, that's who they're playing in the playoffs.
Still, like no, I'm not worried about it. Okay,
they're playing fucking Brock Purdy in the playoffs.
Well, they might not be.
Problem.
They might not be. Because let's talk about that before we move on to our. Okay, first of all, this is our new section, week 14 / stunks or not stunks, where we look at the games coming forward. On a bye this week. This is our last week of byes, actually. At the
late byes.
It's because of Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah. Falcons, Bears, Packers, Colts, Saints, and the Commies, none of which are playing. Now, before we preface it our next game, we didn't establish that as of today, Baker Mayfield was officially released by the Carolina Panthers.
So long, farewell, I'll be the same.
Get the fuck out of here!
But now we thought, okay, Jimmy G's hurt, probably done for the year. This seems, I mean, if you want to torture McCaffrey, just send him to San Francisco. But no, in a move that I don't fully understand.
I know why it happened now.
I understand it completely. Trying
to screw over the lines because Baker Mayfield is now gone. Now going to the LA Rams.
It's actually nothing to do with that. The Rams have literally just bought a compensatory draft pick for $1 million.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Okay. I didn't read the terms
because they're going to lose him because he's a free agent. They literally have just bought an extra draft pick for picking that contract up.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yep, that now makes sense. But yes, the Baker Mayfield after being cast off. Remember, like in the beginning of the season, where we're all like rooting Baker Mayfield, like, yeah, you show him Baker, then we watch him, just like, no, you're terrible.
Look, I actually really feel for him because if he went to the 49ers. I genuinely think they actually become contenders. I think him at the 49ers would have done well. him at the Rams as a backup, he's screwed. Like he'll be the backup no matter what. Like that's
At the Rams?
At the Rams, he'll be the backup. I'll
I don't
guarantee
think so.
you. No, he's the backup. He will not play. I'll guarantee he will not play this game.
We'll see. We'll see. I think that he has a better skill set than John Wolford, because John Wolford looked fucking awful.
I don't care which one of them plays. They're getting their asses kicked. I
They're
never
losing.
thought I'd be saying that about the
They're
Raiders.
losing this game.
They were getting their asses kicked by the Raiders.
Yeah, no, I really do think that I think he is a backup at this point for this team. I'm fascinated, and I don't think we will ever find out. I am fascinated to know if the 49ers did put up for him.
They did not. No, they said the Rams were the only team that put a claim in.
Okay, alrighty, fair enough then. That would have been interesting because I don't think we ever would have found out because of the way
the Niners were hoping that he wouldn't have went through, and then they could have just signed him to like a league minimum.
Yeah, that actually probably would have made more sense. But yeah.
Yeah, so we all have the Raiders being.
This is going to be terrible.
Yeah. Raiders winning this.
Soundly.
Yeah, this is going to be an ugly game, and the Raiders are going to end up becoming. People are going to start saying, "Ooh, sneaky playoff pick," and they're not making the playoffs.
This is kind of a hard one to pick, but say Derek Carr, stonks or not stonks.
He's not going to have to be. I think it's going to be a heavy Josh Jacobs game. Carr will do fine, but I'm going to – if we're going I'll say stonks in that he's not going to screw things up. Like, he'll be okay, but it's not going to be it's not on his shoulders. Jacobs
honestly, I do think that Devontae Adams is going to smoke Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, that too. This is going to be a terrible game. They're going to destroy the Rams.
They're 6.5 point. Rams are 6.5 point dogs. I am taking the Raiders on.
Take the Raiders. Yeah, absolutely.
Look, if the Raiders manage to lose this game, you should. They won't, but you should fire Jeff McManus. Should have fired after losing Jeff Saturday. Next game we're talking about, we have AFC East, and this is an important game on both accounts. The Jets taking on the Bills. Bills are currently the number 1 seed in the
Bills
AFC
must
East,
win this game,
but
it's a must win for Buffalo.
It's a must win for Buffalo because they are 1-2 in divisional games.
Yep. This is a must win. No two ways about it. This is a must win. Have to guarantee 100% win this game. You lose this game, you're a 5th seed, and you're not if you're a 5th seed, you're playing Titans and then Bengals.
All right.
Like you don't. Yeah.
Now looking at this game, I'm going to throw out Stephon Diggs.
Stonks.
Yeah, I think he's going to be more so on Reed than on Sauce is going to be on the opposite side of the field. I have a feeling. I trust Diggs more than almost any other wide receiver in the league. I don't think I'd ever not pick Diggs for stonks.
Just purely because Sauce Gardner on the other side of the field, that I would maybe think about not stonk, but fair enough. Up next, AFC North ball again. We got the Browns versus the Bengals. This game. What's the spread on this?
6.5 points. The Browns are 6.5 point dogs.
What's the over under?
I don't know the over under. This is my lock of the week to pick the Browns. Pick the Browns. This I hate this spread.
Wow.
This is the single worst spread. The entire thing. This is Vegas overreacting to the Chiefs game. The Bengals cannot beat the Browns. It is their one team they cannot beat. They do not know how to beat the Browns. They cannot do it. This is an overreaction to the Chiefs game. This is my lock of the week. If you want to make some money, bet on the Browns. Bet points on the Browns.
That's such a weird thing to hear. If you want to make money, bet on the Browns.
Bengals might win it, but they are not winning it by more than a touchdown. This is, if they do, it will be by a field goal.
Well, again, this is AFC North ball. What's the one thing we know about AFC North ball? It's
always close.
Always ugly.
It's always close.
And the wins are never the wins are very rarely convincing.
Yeah, this is 6.5 points. That is a massive overreaction to the Chiefs game. That is why they're given 6.5 points. I would bet if you want to make money, this is the one to pick.
This is a field goal game, like a last second field goal kind of win. I agree with that. I'm going with the Bengals, but yeah, I agree with you, Jacob, that this is going to be closer than people think, and I think Nick Chubb is going to have a big game in right here for Cleveland. I don't know about too many of the other Browns, but Nick Chubb is definitely going to have himself a nice game.
Look, I'm gonna say Browns win this, and I'm gonna feel myself being sick in the stomach doing so because of Myles Garrett.
I was about to ask. So, Browns defense in terms of sacks, stunks or not stunks?
Oh, stunks. Yeah, oh yeah. Statistically, with the sacks, absolutely.
Myles Garrett. I honestly think there is a chance Garrett gets 3. I really think there is a chance Garrett gets 3 sacks in this game.
I mean, just start writing your will. Start writing your will, bro. You're gonna need it soon.
Speaking of writing your will, the next game. Holy crap!
Yeah, we got the Texans. We'll talk about easy schedule. The fucking Cowboys have had they've had it easy.
This is another one that I am tempted to. Texans are 16.5-point dogs. I'm half tempted to take that. Because
how
16 and a half. Wow.
So say Texans at 16.5. Basically, the Cowboys will not beat them by more than 3 touchdowns.
Ooh.
I like
where your head's at, Jacob.
It's too many points. It's far too many. Because here's what I could very much see happening. Cowboys are up with 18 by 18 points with 2 minutes to go, and Texans go down and get a touchdown because they've put a garbage time touchdown, and you're done. I can see it happening. It's too many points. It's just far too many points. No, I'm not taking it.
I mean, Cowboys are going to destroy in this game, but by that much, that's a lot.
The Cowboys are winning this Cowboys are going to win this by 2 touchdowns, but I don't think they're going to do it by 3. So I'm going Texans.
Wow. Okay. I mean, look, if you lose to Houston, fire everyone.
Sorry, they're not. Cowboys are winning.
The betting.
Cowboys.
I know. I'm just saying, like in general, if you lose to Houston, first of all, this show is going to be incredible. Second of all,
you think I was salty after they just destroyed the Colts? Holy crap!
You lose to Houston, we're popping. This is gonna turn into drunk stream.
No. If they lose to Houston, guess what, Chance? Tom Brady's fucking winning that game.
But yeah, so for this game, I'm gonna throw out CD Lamb.
No, he stonks.
I mean, it's hard, but it's hard with this because it's like this game, this defense, this team fucking sucks. But so
he gets at least one touchdown.
Cowboys, it stunks.
He gets the first quarter touchdown for CD Lamb. Easy.
Up next, we have the NFC North ball, and this could be a very scrappy matchup: Vikings versus Lions.
This could be a fun one.
Keep in mind,
I will have no idea. Lions are favorite.
What?
Lions are $2.5 point favorites.
Shit, take it.
Yeah, I'm
Vikings.
Absolutely taking Vikings on this. Vikings are winning this.
I got Vikings winning the game as well. I think that like I said, the Lions are going to put it up to them, but they're not going to stop Dalvin Cook, and they certainly are not going to stop Justin Jefferson. So.
Yeah.
Now, Walter, this is interesting because we have one player taking on his former team, T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
They'll feed him the ball. I don't think he's going to get a lot of receptions, but it won't shock me to see him get in the end zone.
Yeah, I could say songs.
Yeah,
right, we got stunks on TJ.
Yeah.
Up next, we got again 2 teams who at one point last year were both vying for the Tank Bowl championship. The Jaguars versus I'm sorry, I misread that. I thought it was the Texans. Jaguar versus Titans.
Sounds like Titans. Yeah, I got the Titans in this one.
Titans.
Fairly soundly.
Yeah. Look, I think this is going to be closer than we think. Again, Jags, man, Trevor Lawrence needs to step up. He has not played well. Like, there's been games where you're like, oh my God, Trevor Lawrence. And then there's others where you're
glimpses.
like, what are you doing? He needs to step up a little bit because
This is a game for him to do it against the Titans pass defense. This is a game where he can do it. I just don't see it happening.
Second worst passing defense in the league.
Yeah.
like right now, is he a top 15 quarterback?
No.
No, he's like top 20, but like not.
Maybe
On the cusp of 20, I think.
Yeah, he's like maybe on the cusp of 20.
Yeah.
That's not good because in his first year, Herbert, Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, or Allen. Okay, Allen wasn't, but like those three, like the pinnacle of, they were all
By the end of the season, they were
at minimum 15, if not 10.
if not
like,
better. Yeah.
This ain't good. For
All right,
what was meant to
I'm
be
gonna-
the next generational quarterback.
One I'm going to throw out here for you. He's had a bit of a rough patch past couple weeks. King Henry.
He'll bounce back. I like him in this game.
Nah, I'm saying not.
We have
Oh, we
one
got a
that
split.
stunks and one stunks. Okay. I mean, I would say stunks for Henry against this defense. But yeah. Up next, NFC East ball. The Eagles trying to continue their supremacy against the New York Football Giants.
Oh, Eagles, easy.
I got the Eagles taking this one. The Giants are going to make. I think the Eagles are actually going to get at least one defensive score on this. Giants are going to come out a little overexcited, and they're going to make mistakes. The Eagles have such a good run game right now that I just don't see this going well for the Giants. Eagles easy.
I've got Eagles Giants splitting in the end, but that's only because the Eagles are going to rest half their freaking team in the last week. So
Yeah,
this is the one that the Giants will lose.
Yeah, I think I like where your head's at there.
Unless the number one seed is still like up in the air. In this case,
That's another situation.
No, and that is fair. But I think personally, I think they lose one more game this season, and it's to the Giants. I think they beat the Cowboys, and they've got the tiebreaker over the Vikings already. So they will have wrapped it up by week 18.
All right. Then I'm gonna throw up for this one, Saquon Barkley.
Not stunks.
Not stunks. Interesting. Okay. All right. Up next, AFC North ball. Ravens versus Steelers. Now I'm gonna go first real quick. Like I said, everything is falling into place. No Lamar Jackson. No. And even if Lamar Jackson was here, still not a problem because Tomlin has his number. So I mean, I know where I'm going.
I'm gonna say outright. I don't know what the line is. I can double check.
Well, yeah,
it.
what is the line for this game?
It's take the under.
Ravens dogs at 2.5 points. So Steelers are the favorite.
Yep,
Steelers are the favorite, and I'm guessing the over under is somewhere around 27.
I don't know. I don't do over under. I just do handicap.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers in this one because I just think the injuries to the Ravens are too much. I trust the playmakers on the Steelers more than what the Ravens are going to put out there, but it's going to be a low-scoring game. The biggest chance the Ravens have is if they're able to get in field goal range 5 times and score 15 points off Tucker.
Look, I think I really like. I think Ravens have probably the best backup quarterback currently in the league. One of
maybe, I don't know.
Now that Garoppolo's injured. So I like Ravens in this game. I'm going Ravens. I really think it's going to come down to a field goal. You ain't
learning nothing.
Okay.
So it's at 37 at the over. Get your unders. Get your unders in right now.
Take the under. Take the under right now. But yeah, again, Steelers. Again, Steelers gonna win. Again, it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan.
Sure.
And again, I don't even need to ask. Like I said, I don't need to ask this game. All Steelers stunks. All the Ravens not stunks. Doesn't matter who it is. Up next, Chiefs versus Broncos. Jesus Christ!
Get this shit out of here, Chiefs.
Man, this might get turned off just because it's gonna violate. I think it's gonna violate Geneva Conventions because it's gonna be that.
This is going to be like the first game all season that the Chiefs are going to have like the worst AFC, the worst CBS staff calling their game. Like the F team of CBS going to be in that game.
Well, you got to remember, no, this is the one that was flexed out.
Yeah.
This is the game that was flexed out. So yeah. I've got Broncos at 8.5 points. I'm taking the Broncos on the spread. This is again the best defense in the league. We are going to see Mahomes against the best defense in the league. I don't think there's going to be very many points scored in this game. I think this is going to be a 16-19 win to the Chiefs. I think Chiefs will win. Don't get me wrong.
I'm about to ask, like, do we think the Broncos are going to score 16 again?
Maybe, but like I think this is going to be an incredibly low scoring game, but I think the Chiefs, it's going to be close. So I'm taking the Broncos against the spread because 8.5 points. I'm getting a touchdown. So yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I am absolutely taking the Broncos.
All
so
right,
Chiefs to win, Broncos to cover the spread.
Again, this again, one like these are hard because, we know how this game's going to go. But I will throw out the name of Juju Smith-Schuster.
Not stonks. Again, I think not stonks because that Broncos defense is good. Now, in 3 weeks when they are definitely dead and buried, I think that's when the Chiefs actually put on a big score on them. But this week, no. I think the Broncos defense is going to try and make a statement against Mahomes. They will. And then in 2 weeks or 3 weeks when they play again, the Broncos defense is going to be so demoralized. They're like, fuck it. Yeah, put 50 on us. We don't care.
All right. Up next, we have the Buccaneers taking on the 49ers. You know, we've talked all about Brock Purdy. We forgot to mention there is actually one other hope. They didn't get Baker Mayfield, which means that there is only one man who can save the 49ers.
Your time is up, my time is now.
Nothing would make me laugh more than bringing fucking Kaepernick back.
He's been out of the league for what? 5 years?
6 years. 6 years.
You need someone to save your franchise. Go get Kaepernick.
I think Cap could still run the ball. I just don't know if he has the arm anymore. Like I genuinely think that if he came in, he could still probably run close to what he used to. But if you saw the last workout he did, his arm strength is not what it used to be.
Nah, he's done. He's done as an NFL quarterback, which sucks because he was robbed of 5 years of a career, and it sucks. But he ain't coming back.
He was one of those guys that was on the cusp of, he legitimately was in like the 30-ish range at the time that everything went down. He was in like the 30 range of where he was, in terms of where, and he was trajecting towards being a backup.
Yeah.
His on the field play, I would have liked to, like you said, at least had an opportunity, but nobody was going to put up with, everything, the media fiasco for what legitimately should have been a backup.
Yeah. So, yeah. Look, I'm saying, but I honestly, Bucks win this.
I got the Bucks as well. The Bucks have one of the best run defenses in football, and the 49ers are going to have to run the ball. They're going to go head to head at it. But I think Brady is he's going to gut the win out, and Purdy's not going to be able to keep up with them. Purdy's going to make mistakes. Brady won't.
Yep.
I think the defense is good enough to hold Brady and hold that offense. So I'm taking the Niners. Name I'm going to throw out for this one. Maybe it happens this time. It's Deebo Samuel.
I don't know what's up with him right now. I say no, not stonks.
Not stonks.
All right, so we have not stunks for Deebo. Good thing he already got paid. Up next, the Panthers versus the Seahawks.
This is the first one where I'm taking the favorite Seahawks at -3.5. They're going to put on a clinic.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks in this one. Easy. It's in Seattle. 4:25 game. This is a Seahawks to blow. And Sam Darnold, this is like one of the highest showcase games he's had in a couple of years. He's not going to do well.
No.
All right. Now let me go throw off for your. I think K9 is still hurt. Our boy, DJ Dallas.
Not stunts.
Not.
Carolina's actually not that bad against the run. They really can't cover. Their secondary is not that great. So it's going to be a DK and Lockett running wild game.
All right, up next. This is actually our primetime game for Sunday night. We got the Dolphins versus the Chargers.
This is the Taylor murders Jacob portion of the show. I'm taking Miami, and Miami cover the 3.5 points.
Yeah, I'm also taking Miami in this one. The Chargers are just such a disappoint. So many of the injuries disappointed them. They were a team that legitimately before the season, on paper, should have been a contender, and everything has just gone the wrong way for them this year. And it's not their time right now. The Dolphins are the team that, the Dolphins also are going to come out pissed off after what happened last week. Chargers have every right to as well, but when you've got a pissed off Tyreek Hill, and if Jalen Waddle is healthy against this Chargers defense, they're going to run wild.
Yeah.
Now,
my biggest hope, and what I would kill to see, just because I want to just see half the media cry, is that Tua sucks again, and Herbert puts on a clinic. Because if that happens, all these conversations of Tua is better than Herbert. Yeah, that ends.
Well, that's what I was going to throw out for you. I guess I'm going to throw out the name of Tua.
He's going. Okay, he is. What do I think's going to happen? Going to stonks. What I want, not stonks.
I think it's just going to be a game that Tua is going to do perfectly fine. I don't see him screwing this game up at all, and just his playmakers are going to, against this defense, Tyreek Hill is, I will say, a good chance will lead the league in receiving yards this week. I like Tyreek Hill in this match a lot.
All right. And lastly, Monday Night Football, we have the Patriots versus the Cardinals. Oh, Jesus.
This is going to be embarrassing, the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm also going the Patriots on this one. Like, I would love to pick the Cardinals right now. Don't get me wrong. I always love to pick against the Patriots. Bill Belichick is going to have Kyler Murray read like a book, and this defense is going to come and attack him hard. Yeah, it's going to be a low-scoring game because it is the Patriots, but this is their game. Yeah, I got the Patriots.
I've never asked you, Mike, and I'm very curious what you think. Because you guys need a quarterback for next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think Jets fans could actually ever get behind Tom Brady as their quarterback?
I don't think so.
I don't think they could either. I think he's legitimately the one quarterback where they'd be like, nope.
He's said too much in his career about how much fun he has beating the Jets. So I just don't see that as a distinct possibility. There are other veteran quarterbacks that, obviously that the fan base would embrace, but no, yeah, I get what you're coming with that. I just don't see Brady ever getting cheered whatsoever inside MetLife Stadium.
Now, then I'm going to throw out for this game. Let's say DeAndre Hopkins.
I like him almost any time. I don't care who he's against. He's kind of matchup proof. I like him.
Oh, because I got one stunk
because Tyler can't throw them the fucking ball at the moment.
And you know what? I think we need to take this opportunity. Start our hashtag. Hashtag fire Cliff on Hard Knocks.
Yep.
I would love to see that.
All right, I'm just going to give you my 5 bets again. Seahawks versus Panthers -3.5. So to take the Seahawks. Texans versus Cowboys, take the Texans at 16.5. Broncos versus Chiefs, take the Broncos at 8.5. Miami versus Chargers, take Miami at -3.5. And Browns versus Bengals, take the Browns at 6.5.
All right. And that's going to do it for the show here. I'm going to leave the hashtag up there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get this trending, people. Jacob, where can people find you?
You guys can find me at Jacob London on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. On my letterbox, I'm also doing the Lights on a Screen podcast, which is on Apple and Spotify everywhere.
Mike, your plugs.
Yep, you can find me weekly on What the Show podcast on Wednesday nights. Tomorrow night we will have Mr. Koijandro on. He's going to be doing a little bit of movie debating with our own AJ Lancaster.
Oh Jesus, I'd like so polar opposite people.
They're buddies somehow. They are such different personalities.
I get like 100 words in a minute. AJ struggles to put one sentence together. That's gonna be fun. You find me on Twitter, just give me a chance, Wars_91. Check out my other podcast, Stories by Chance. Our episode on ET just dropped very recently. I would hope Bethany to go listen to it, because I did talk about how I lost my wallet on the ET ride.
Nice. That's a great story. That was my wedding weekend, right?
That was your wedding weekend, actually. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we will see you once again next week.
Holy shit.